guys used to trade and try to grow their income and provide for their families, which I'm sure all of us are trying to do. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala kept them secure. And he let them worship in the sacred house. As we, mashallah, have the masajid close to us that we worship in. Of course, they don't even compare to, the Kaaba, but just as an example that we are secure in our masajid as well. Many of us, and so, a lot of communities across the world are not. But here, as Muslims in America, Muslims here in Texas, Georgia, wherever you're from, you might have that security. And Allah is the one who fed them against hunger and made them secure against fear. The reason I want to share that is because, subhanAllah, there's a lot of hungry people around the world, food insecure people, people who lack security or are in war-torn areas or natural disaster areas. And if we're not, we should be definitely thankful to Allah. And sometimes when I think about, like, okay, well, we're trying to purchase a home and it's hundreds of thousands of dollars and we're going to pool our money together, I think to myself, is this, for us, we're trying to provide for our families, but sometimes I feel like, what can we do for others? Is this a first world problem that we're trying to, raise money and secure our own home financing here in America versus those that are food insecure, even home insecure across the world? So I just want to share that because we have a sense of security here, and we have a sense of community here, and this whole home financing co-op is based upon sense of community. I'll just go through it really quick. So summary of events. Before I continue, anybody have a comment or a question? Or that's like 10 seconds or shorter. Any comments or questions? Throw it in the chat if you want as well. Okay, going once, going twice. All right, bismillah. So this is a personal initiative to help the community and also to help myself. I'll be purchasing a home one day, inshallah, sooner rather than later. And this will help me. So hopefully it'll help other people as well. So, and we'll go over what the model is as well. This basically started from a WhatsApp group. The WhatsApp group, I basically texted different WhatsApp groups and said, if somebody's interested in a model where we're forming a committee system or a chitti system or a Jama'iyya system, please come through. And eventually I changed the name to co-op because that's more, appropriate per English standards. Let's see here. Somebody wants to join the call. Mir Ali. Assalamu alaikum, Mir Ali. Welcome. So we basically changed the name of the WhatsApp group to House Financing Co-op. So we can finance our house or home improvements or paying our existing mortgages down, whatever the idea is. We had about 27 people, now 29 people complete the survey. That seems that a lot of people are interested. They're just, maybe alhamdulillah, we have around 10 people on the call as well. This is just the first step. The first step is a community discussion. And inshallah, the second step could be actually, the mechanics of how we're pulling the money together, how we're dispersing the money, so on and so forth. So why participate in this co-op anyway? I was thinking about, like, everybody would be thinking to themselves, why should I do this? And some of the points that I came up with, I'm sure you have your own points of why you're here. Savings. So I was looking at myself, like, just, for example, the amount of money I'll pay, maybe I'll take a $300,000 or $400,000 loan, but by the time I'm done paying it to the mortgage companies, whether halal or not, I'll be paying a huge sum, right? In addition to the loan that I took out. So if we're pooling money together, revolving the money between the community members, we're saving each other money, right? Money sits in the bank, does us no good, helps the bank earn interest, but we're not revolving the money around us, between us to save each other money. So that was number one, savings. And getting rid of debt. People can use this lump sum that'll come out of this co-op either to pay down existing mortgages or getting rid of debt in whatever other way, or you can achieve your goals. Maybe you have a home improvement project or addition to your house. You want to make your house bigger, more comfortable for your family. You can achieve your goals through this co-op, getting a lump sum to do that. And community, one of the reasons to participate in this co-op is to revive the sense of community and what we should be doing for each other. Instead of letting money sit in the bank will generate interest from it. Let's rotate it around the community wherever it's needed. So those are some ideas of why we should participate in this co-op. So before I do that, let me just take a quick break and ask you guys why you're here. Please write a quick sentence or say a quick word about why are you here. Go ahead, brother Sayyid Ali, brother Daniel. Sayyid Firdaus, why are you guys here? Sister Sadia, feel free to write something in the chat. Okay, you want to understand more about the co-op model. So you're thinking about kids and long-term, how to provide enough space for them. Nancy Hussein says she's been in other co-ops before, which enabled her to pay off some small debt. Alhamdulillah. Thank you, sister. Brother Tanim said he's here to learn. Brother Mir Ali said he's here to make bulk payments towards his mortgage and credit card bills. Yeah, subhanAllah. I'll share a video with you. A church community came together to wipe out completely the entire community in that church from their healthcare debt. All of, like, if anybody was behind on, had a surgery or whatever and had a bunch of debt due, one by one, they pulled money together. Nobody in that church has any healthcare debt anymore. Alhamdulillah. We could do the same for credit card debt. We could do the same for house mortgages. My wise, a lot of people shared a lot of good things of why they're participating in this co-op, or why they would wish to participate in this co-op, including saving money for themselves, financing things, being interest-free. MashaAllah, Jazakumullah khairan. Continuing from there, where do people plan on purchasing? Or the question is, where are they moving to? Or, a lot of people, maybe they reside or are moving to Irving, Texas. And that could be very biased because I sent the WhatsApp group and the survey to my friends and my different WhatsApp groups. And I live in Irving, Texas. So that's primarily why this is so biased. And 12 others said that they're in the DFW metro area. This is all, taken from the survey that was filled out. 3 are in Georgia and 1 is in California. Again, we could do co-ops in those communities, other parts of Texas, other parts of the country, inshallah. So when do people plan on purchasing? And this is another question. So it seems like a lot of people, like, here's the answer. 24 out of the 26 folks said that they plan on purchasing in 1 to 2 years. So if it's like a 1 year, committee or co-op, or if it's a 2 year, we can definitely see what a return looks like for most folks, what the lump sum will be, and that's coming up as well, inshallah. Really quick in the chat, go ahead and type in, your name, city you're from, just because the survey said Irving, Texas, doesn't mean everybody here is from Irving, Texas. If you just want to write city and state you're from, just so we see where everybody's from. MashaAllah. Georgia, great. Atlanta, Irving. Thank you, guys. Yeah, I guess it's very similar to what the survey was, alhamdulillah. Let's continue. So almost like majority of the people want to buy within 1 to 2 years. There's a mind, within that, 10 people want to buy within the next 6 months. And of course, if it's a 6 months co-op, the money will be much smaller, the lump sum will be much smaller. So those that are thinking now in the long run, like, I want to buy in 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, they'll be able to, inshallah, save more money this way. Of course, we'll stick to whatever the norm is, and you'll see in the results coming up that between 12 months to 14 months is what most people wanted. There's a couple of people that are planning in the next year or two as well. These are the anticipated down payments. If you see, there's 4 quadrants, right? The blue quadrant, almost like almost 29% of people are going to give about $50,000 as a down payment or less. Another 25%, maybe 75,000 or less. Another 25%, 100,000 or less, or another 25%, roughly 25%, are going to be $100,000 or more. So you can see, like, there's a range. So we can break up people this way into different co-ops, inshallah. The monthly payment, like, what's the maximum monthly payment that you're able to pool towards a co-op? And then I've got a little, like, breakdown. So based upon this, some people said 500 all the way. There's a couple of people that said they can do 3,500 or more, 3,000 or more. They're ready to start saving in the long run for their bigger expenses, inshallah. Maybe a huge down payment, or may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it possible, buying an entire property, whole cash, whether it's investment or their place of living. So when you do the analysis on all the numbers, like, you take everybody's number and you do a weighted average, it comes out to like 2 groups distinctly. There's a group that can pay between 500 and 1,500. You take them on a weighted average, That's about $900 a month. And there's 14 members that want to do that per the survey. So the lump sum that they'll get every single month is $12,600. So they can take that $12,600, immediately add that to their down payment, add that to basically paying their existing loans, or do a home improvement project, inshallah. There's another group that can do more. Maybe they're earning more, or they have less monthly responsibilities. So that was between $2,000 and $3,500. And there were 12 members that said they could do that, or 12 survey participants. And they would get a lump sum of $31,200 over 12 months. So the first one is over 14 months. The next one is over 12 months. And there's a way of like mixing them together too. It's a little bit more complicated. And I didn't have the time to do the math. But inshallah, there's a way to allow everybody to participate, inshallah. So this is just an analysis of this thing that you saw. I just did an analysis and breakdown of it. So this is basically, so I'm suggesting two groups, $900 and $2,600 based upon the survey. However, we'll see, as we finish this up and there's the Q&A, the goal is to sign up people today, sign up today, create your co-ops, and then let's figure out how much, you're able to do monthly. So another question that was presented was like, what's your ideal lump sum? And then there's about 21 people that said between 10 and 50,000, obviously closer to 50,000. And we see that, we're getting between 13,000 and was it 36,000 as a lump sum. So we're coming close to what most people want. 5 people said, look, I really want $100,000 or more. And what we're seeing is, per the people that filled out the survey, they're not giving that much monthly, or they don't want to wait that many months to be able to get that money. I think we could do 100,000 if we waited like 2 or 3 years for everybody to get their lump sum. So that's another opportunity, inshallah, to get more people involved and wait for a longer period of time. So continuing from there, this is a very important question, and this is where I think we'll break for our Q&A as well. What would make you comfortable to join the co-op? Right? What would make you comfortable to say, hey, I'm going to talk to my community members here, and they're going to participate in this co-op with me? I mean, I would say the big three are signed and notarized agreement. That's a no-brainer. Credit check. If we can do that, it's $30. We can have every member do a credit check, and a co-signer for each member. So like maybe you're getting your spouse or somebody else, or maybe brother or sister to be your co-signer. That, hey, I'm going to consistently pay this monthly payment that I'm agreeing to, then I'm not going to stop paying that monthly payment. So those are 3 like kind of security measures we could put in place based upon the survey results here. Feel free to start throwing your questions now. We're getting to the discussion part. Put them in the chat, inshallah. What can the lump sum be utilized for? Really anything. You get the lump sum, you're in a committee, you get the, everybody, let's say there's 12 people, each is paying $1,000, you get $12,000 lump sum, use it for what you need to. However, a lot of people from the survey said they would use it to extend their down payment, to take less of a loan. Some people said they would want to pay off their existing home mortgage. Some people said they want to do home improvement projects. Some people said they're going to use that towards car payments, student debt, or even investments. And I'm glad about 12% of the survey, those people that filled out the survey, they want to start their investments. Bismillah, let's do it. Let's make our community self-sufficient. Let's make our community one that revolves money around each other, and let's make our community that can build ourselves up and get rid of debt for ourselves. So I'm going to open up the floor for people to ask questions while I try to reverse and go to our slides. Yes, please go ahead. Question? Also, Sister Mohajibeen on the line. Sister Mohajibeen, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Wow, mashallah. Thank you so much for joining us. Were you able to catch the majority of the presentation?
Yes, I've been on since the beginning.
MashaAllah, thank you. Sister Mohajibeen is one of my mentors, guys. I really look up to her. She was involved. She's in Chicago. Was involved in the CPSA school. Many may have heard of that. Involved in so many things, including CMMA, Chicago Muslim Medical Alliance, A Continuous Charity, which is the group that gives interest-free student loans, wanted to extend its reach, and Sister Mohajibeen started the ACC Illinois chapter. To give interest-free student loans. Her husband and her have been doing interest-free loans for a long time, and also this Chitti system, the co-op system. So how has it worked in your community, Sister Majabin?
So basically we've been doing it for the past 25, 30 years. When I graduated, I'm an optometrist. When I graduated, I had about $72,000 in loans. So we started, obviously we were just starting out. So we started like $1,000 a month for a 3-year committee. And then we were able to, that was way back 93. So, you guys can figure out my age from there. But by 95, we had paid off the 70,000 that I had in loans. And then we just continued from there. And then we bought our house in 2000, so we bought our house on cash, owner financing. And then, so we've never, ever had to deal with any interest since then. We've always only pretty much saved with the committee system. Right now, just so everyone is aware, right now we're currently in, I would say maybe 5 or 6. So one is a 5,000 per month, one is a 3,000 per month. One is let me tell you the total amounts. The 5,000 a month is 120,000. The 3,000 a month is 36,000. And a family one that we just started in October is 2,000 a month, but it's for 36 months, and that's 72,000 a month. So we are we've paid off quite a few people's, student loans, credit card debts, and homes. So it's really easy, you guys. If you want to, you just basically have to trust each other and start. And then once you start, it just goes on. It's really easy to do.
So, thank you so much, Sister Majabin, for being with us and doing this for the last 25 years and serving your community and getting so many people out of debt and paying off their bills. So, Allahu Akbar. I just can't thank you enough, mashallah. What if somebody misses a payment? Here's a question. Sister Sadia is asking, what if somebody misses a payment? Like they're not able to pay that time, or they kind of disappear on us? What do you usually do, Sister Majabin?
We've really not had to deal with that. With all the people from your community, so it's very hard for someone to do that if everyone knows each other. Now, if you get somebody new, I did have. We had to deal with that twice in the past 25 years. One, someone had referred me to, and she took it, and then she didn't pay like 2 or 3 payments at the end. And we tried very hard, but that was a loss for us. 2 or 3,000, I can't remember how much it was, but that was somebody that I didn't know, someone had recommended, something like that. But I'm just letting you guys know that when you do this, there is a little risk also, but then 99% of the time, there is no risk. Everybody, each other, everybody's, doing it for the same reason, and everyone is pretty good with the monthly payments. Once, the other time that we had to deal with this was someone had some, this was the 121 that I'm talking about. One of the doctors had some problems. And then what we ended up doing was we had 30 or 40 members in there, and we all took a loss of $500 per person, which was very negligible compared to, I think he just had a few months left. So everyone took we kind of all talked about it, took a vote on it, and said, okay, we'll just all take a loss of $500 a month, which was $500 only total. And that was it.
Yeah, that's a great point, Sister Majabin. I think, like you said, also with ACCA Continuous Charity, 98% of the students pay back on time. For every 100 or 200 people you deal with, there's going to be 1 or 2 that are not going to be able to meet your expectations or not participate in the way that the group wanted to, right? So I think it's a matter of group mentality, the community coming together. I actually encourage everybody that's interested. I'm going to host something in the Valley Ranch Masjid so we can physically meet each other. That could also help us. So there were 3 points that came also: credit check, contract, and co-signer. So is that something you suggest, Sister Majabin?
If I can interrupt you right there, this is exactly the best way to go, because we didn't have those in place at obviously for those other ones. So that's why we were a little bit in, a loss. But now you have the credit check, you can do you can do a lot more. So, and then and the contract, we just started this October when we did the family one, we started the contract this year. We never had any contracts or anything. It was all word of mouth and just trust before that. So now you guys I would definitely recommend at least the contract. If not, definitely the credit check too. If it's someone new and you're not sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, alhamdulillah. So I'm going to just go over all the questions really quick, and feel free, guys, to even unmute and ask your question. How do we fairly determine the payout schedule? So you see on the screen, I wrote, how do we, the screen might be small, I can also make it bigger. How do we determine who's first? So this is what I wrote. I said, usually somebody who's starting the committee system or the co-op system, they have something in mind. They're trying to either help themselves or help somebody with an expense coming up. So usually they will determine, if they got the group together, who goes first. Or also the group can just draw lots, the lottery system, if you will, pulling a name out of a hat. So both are there. I think as a group we can decide that, and both are fair. What do you think, Sayed, for those? Does that answer your question? Either the person who's starting the committee interviews everybody, sees what their need is, decides on a schedule, or you do the lottery system.
Yeah, I see merits to both. I feel like, there's in one vein, you can have everyone kind of, I guess, some people might have private things they don't want to share, but what their needs are based on the calendar, right? And then trying to accommodate people as much as possible, because different people have different needs at different times, right? Just based on like when they're looking to buy a house or whatever they're looking to do. But probably the most fair is just random selection. But what might end up happening is that you get the payout when you don't need it.
Don't need it, yeah.
Right? Whether it's too far, in advance, or it's too late for your timeline. So
yeah. No, I think we should do a hybrid.
I don't think there's any. I don't think there's an easy answer, but there might be. I just want to make sure whatever we do is fair for everyone.
Absolutely,
as much as possible.
As much as possible, inshallah. I'm willing to take that onus. Like once we meet and people say like, "Hey, I'm in," I'll interview all 10, see what their needs are, propose a schedule to the committee, and they can say yes or no. I feel like we can do that because you're right. People have different needs at different times for when they want to purchase.
Abdullah, I have a question. When you were presenting the slides, there were two options that you had initially suggested. One of them was the month. So basically, both of them, I guess, were suggesting monthly payouts. Is that the right way to understand that, or were you thinking more on a yearly basis, compounding over each month?
Very good question. What is your name, brother? It just says HM.
Haris.
Haris. Haris Majid. Thanks for, I know you sent the Telegram group as well. Thank you so much. Also, the brother Hussein, are you still taking notes? I just want to make sure you're capturing some of these questions and the answers, inshallah. Okay, no problem. The question was, how do we fairly determine who will get the payout first, or the whole payout schedule? There were two choices. Either I, as the administrator, or whoever the administrator is, interview all the people, see their needs, or have a survey like we just did, and then decide what the payout schedule would be, or we do the lottery system. So both are available. And the second question from Brother Haris, a very good question, is, hey, should we do the payouts monthly, or should we do the payouts annually? And Sister Mahajibin, have you dealt with that as well?
Well, maybe I'm not sure if I'm understanding the question. What we do is monthly a person gets it. So if we have $50,000 a month, then Abdullah will get it first, and then Haris will get it second month, and then so on and on. So it is a monthly payout. But you will only get it, Abdullah, you will only get it once in the whole, if we do a 2-year period, whatever time period that we have it for. I don't know.
I guess
is that the question?
Right, that makes sense.
Yeah, and Brother Haris, if I may add to your question, right? So, but because the housing cost is so much, Sister Majibin, what if we all pooled money together for an entire year, and then on top of that, started to add our monthly payments, right? So, like for example, let's say we gathered $50,000 from the back. Would that help us, because the housing pricing, the housing market is going a little crazy right now?
Not really, because once you pool at 50, then who knows who's going to get it first and all that. So let's say we start July, okay? So let's say there's 10 of us doing 5,000 each. So July, somebody will pick up 50,000.
Mm-hmm.
If we save until next July, that'll be, let's say you have 100,000, 150,000, whatever saved up. But then how do you decide if everyone is willing, okay, the way to bypass that is what I like our family one that I have, we have it for 36 months. So I'm putting in 3,000 a month and I will pick up at the end. So I'll put 3,000 in from July and then I'll pick it up in 2 years later. So it'll come up to 3,000 times whatever, 12 times 3, 36, right? So here's, well, actually ours is 2,000. So it's 72,000 per month.
Wow.
So I won't take the beginning ones, but I'll take the ending ones. So if someone is wanting to wait for a year or 2 or 3, then they'll just pick up their amount at the end, and that's their savings. Basically, it's just your own money. Instead of leaving it in a savings account, you're putting it in here when the community is using it.
Amazing. That works. Alhamdulillah. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the questions that were typed. I know Brother Muhammad is also raising his hand. Give me just 1 second. So we talked about fairly distributing. We talked about what if you miss one payment. And that's either like then you double up in your next payment and somebody covers for you, or we take a loss as a group if somebody's not able to do it. So hopefully you will, Sister Sadia Durrani, you could, like, let's say you can't pay this month, you can talk to the members to see if we can all pitch in a little bit to cover for you, and then the next month you get them all back, inshallah. Or if for example, the example Sister Majameen discussed, the doctor wasn't able to pay it all, everybody took a $500 hit because he was towards the end of his payment. And again, we hope to reduce people not paying by community knowing each other. Number one, let's actually meet at the masjid. Number two, the contract in place, the credit check, and the cosigner. So that's how we hope to reduce it, inshallah. There'll always be risk, and the risk is on the members and not on any one individual or organization. Yeah, Sayyid Ali, how about a third group for hybrid or higher amounts? Yeah, I'm completely for that. There's a lot of people that want to do higher amounts. Most of the latest surveys, we got people under $2,500, $3,500 a month. And we could do a hybrid group as well. Sister Majum, how does this work? Like, let's say you have one committee, but somebody's paying 3,000, somebody's paying 2,000. Can that work? They just get less amount.
Yeah, that can work, because if I'm doing 2,000 for 10 months, then I'm only going to pick up 20,000. And then you are doing 3,000 for 10 months, you'll pick up the 30,000. So if we have a total of, so you and I together will be 5,000, right? So that month, let's say in July, I will pick up 30, you'll pick up 20.
I see. Okay. Yeah,
we basically split up and just make into groups. I want to answer that one question someone asked. What if you miss a payment?
Yeah.
How we deal with that is on a personal basis. So let's say this month I'm having a really hard time and I'm not able to, and I know if the check goes through, it's going to bounce. So I'll call up the person who's, let's say it's your GT or your committee for this month. I'll call you up and say, okay, I'm having a really hard time. Can you please hold my check until I'm able to cover that? So instead of, let's say on the 5th, then you can deposit it on the 10th or the 20th or whichever, or even if, so it's like you get on more on a personal level at that time. You don't really miss the payment. You'll just hold it off for a few weeks or a few days, or sometimes, let's say, even a month or two. But that's, you and I will be personally responsible for that each month, each time that you do that. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Not as a group, because the whole group cannot take, you can't change, because every month it's going to be exactly, everyone will get their checks. Okay, that's the other group. I don't know, Abdullah, if you wanted to discuss how the system goes, or do you want me to talk about how the checks are distributed? And
please go right ahead. Go right ahead, and then I can add to it, inshallah.
Okay. So what we do is, my system is I'll take checks from everybody, whoever's in that committee. Let's say there's 10 members. I'll take 10 checks for the next 10 months, and all blank. Written out and signed, but the name will be blank. So that in July, when I have to give to Abdullah, I will give him his 20,000. And then in August, so each person will get their checks. Or what I usually do, since I'm in Chicago, I do have some people that are from out of town. So I'll just deposit into their Chase account or City, whichever mutual bank that we have in the same city. Then I'll make a deposit into their account. It's very easy to do, from any state. You don't have to be in the same city or state to do this. We'll deposit, or we'll give each other the checks.
Okay, so let's say Nancy, Syed, Sadia, myself, Haris, and every brother Muhammad, they're all in like the same co-op, same committee. So each one will give the administrator, let's say 12 signed checks, but unnamed. Then you
Exactly.
like, let's say it's 5 people. So the administrator will take the 5 checks, give it to Sister Sadia first. New 5 sets, give it to Abdullah. New 5 checks, Sayyid. New 5 checks, Nancy, like that.
Exactly. So
Okay.
then, before let's say the committee starting July 1st. So what the administrators will do is sit down, make the envelopes for each month. So for July, August, September, and then just put all the checks in each month. So if we have 20 members, all 20 checks for July will be in that one envelope for July, right? And then I'll hand it to the person that's getting it in July. And then same for August, same for September. So all the 20 checks will be in there. They'll all be there. Each person will get it at the beginning, and they'll hold on to it until so if you're coming up after 2 years, you'll just hold on to your checks for 2 years. That's it.
Okay. That's perfect. That's great. Another idea is, as you'll see, I'll scroll down on this thing. So I did talk to Akinton Charity. As you guys know, I'm affiliated to that organization. So ACC is open, but doesn't want to get into the business of home financing, but is open to allow us to pool money with them, and then they can also disperse it while taking no responsibility or liability for members that do not pay. So, for example, we can give everybody a bank account, which is owned by a nonprofit charity, a continuous charity that already does interest-free student loans. Everybody makes the deposit maybe by the 5th of the month, and then maybe by the 15th of the month, the disbursement happens. So that option is there. And of course, I like the idea of like the checks. That makes perfect sense to me. So we can avoid additional burden on the non-for-profit. The other thing is, like, I did suggest like a $7 to $10 monthly donation for ACC for doing this for us. So like maybe let's say there's 20 of us, all 20 of us start giving ACC a small monthly sadaqah for being our kind of like our bank or administrator, our disperser, allowing us to pool the money there. So that and I put that in throughout, like in the WhatsApp group, so you guys have seen it, you guys have voted on it, and some people said 5, some said 10. So I just took the average, like $7 to $10 a month. So anyway, going back here, let's see. There were more questions. Before I forget, guys, go ahead and start writing more questions. Would there be a minute?
One more suggestion or a question. When we were discussing the disbursement of the payments, would it be a good practice to have separate streams? And it could be any amount. It could be 2,000, 3,000, whatever someone can afford. So we were discussing different payment schedules from 1,500, from 500 to 900, or from 2,500 plus. But we could have streams for different investment opportunities. Basically, if you're saying that it's home finance, we could have a committee based just on home finance. And if somebody wants to invest, then we could have a committee for investment only, and things of that sort. So wouldn't that keep things more focused instead of having different people taking up money for different purposes? I'm just suggesting this is, an open suggestion.
I think it's a good idea. Here's my thing, and I'll let Sister Majibin talk about this. My thing is, the person getting the lump sum, this is primarily a house financing committee that I'm, co-op that I'm trying to form, right? But let's say somebody then wants to use it for medical expenses. Somebody wants to use it for student loans. I'm just giving an example. The focus is not lost, really, because the focus is to help each community member overcome their financial challenges, get rid of their debt, be more financially independent. And what it's doing really is it's about the amount that you're able to put in, right? So the amount you're putting in is the lump sum you're getting back to be able to deal with your financial goals or challenges.
Correct.
What do you say, Sister Hajibi?
I think it's hard for us to dictate to someone like, oh, you can only use it for house financing. I think it's you should leave it up to the person who is, because it's their own money, really. So if they want to use it as instead of buying, making a down payment, they want to buy a car that month. I think it's, as long as they are good for the payment monthly, I think they should be allowed. It's hard to group everybody and say you're only in this group, you're only in that group, because I don't think we'll have that many members unless we come up with 100 or 150 members. Then maybe we could consider that. But if we only have 25, 30 members, it's going to be hard to do that.
Agreed, inshallah. And you know, with ACC allowing us to kind of pool the money potentially there, we can actually scale to hundreds of members, inshallah, and each one of you can bring more members that you know. So this way, it's within our circle of friends and family. So real quick, also, I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, Brother Harris, that was a very good question. I think folks can use it for whatever they want, and they'll be pulling in money that is theirs at a certain amount. I think what we could do is provide more resources. For example, myself and a couple of other brothers here, we're part of this WhatsApp group called Road to Retirement, right? It's also formed by a brother here in Valley Ranch. So if a brother has a business idea or finds an investment property, there are a few people who actually are doing this as a business. Then they'll pitch it to us on the WhatsApp group, and we all will decide if we want to invest. And some people are investing, like myself, really small, maybe 5 to 10K. Some people are investing really big if they have the income to do so. So what we can do is, as we're forming these committees, provide more resources. Well, if you want to invest, here's an opportunity to do that in a halal way. Obviously, taking no, this is I'm not an investment advisor, so I want to put that disclaimer out there. But there's many investments we can do in our community, in addition to pooling money for home loans. You could also pool money for investments, inshallah. All right, cool. That being said, and if anybody's interested in getting on the Road to Retirement group, message me. You're on the WhatsApp group. You have my email address from this calendar invite that I sent. All right, going back to Sister Nancy, she said, would there be a minimum credit score? So I was actually asking University Islamic Financing, like, what's their minimum credit score? So they have tiers. Like, for example, if you're 720 and above, they'll look at you as like you're a golden child, and you get the lowest rate. And if you're below 720 but above, like things like 680, 690, you're the second tier, so on and so forth. So we can take the same approach, like the members can, I think, decide what the credit score should be, but also members should be able to give feedback, like, hey, my credit score is low because I have debt that I wasn't able to pay because XYZ reason, right? So that's why there's also a co-signer. That's why there's also a signed agreement. So I think all three would be taken and balanced together, Sister Nancy. So I'm proposing a minimum credit score of like 680, if you guys are okay with that. If you guys are okay with that, just write 1 in the chat, and we'll do a survey later as well. Is 680, or do you want higher? Or do you want lower? Go ahead. Put 1 if you agree with 680. 680. If you agree, please type 1. Okay. So some more questions here. Income verification. Sorry, right before that, my education debt is partly why I want to join this group. It's weighing down on my credit score. Oh, Sister Nancy, we completely agree, and that's why, inshallah, we should do this group and get rid of all debt from our community, inshallah. May Allah help us with that. Okay, income verification. How do you verify somebody's income? Is there a service for that? Sayyid Ali or Sister Majibeen?
Sorry, I was on mute. We've never really done that. Like I said, we've only dealt with people that we know. So no, we've never verified income.
Could you provide the W-2 with like all the personal info blacked out?
I guess that's good. I don't want to get into that. I just want to outsource it. Like the credit score's outsourced. I want to outsource this to a company. We pay $20 and they do all the verification for us, because employment verification also has income verification somehow. I don't know. I could ask the University Financial Group, because I told them about it, and they're giving me information for free. So I could ask them, Brother Ghalib Kazmi, who I know for a while. So I could ask them how they do income verification, and we can add it. But that'll be an added cost. Like credit score is $30. So if we do credit scores for our group, we will have to pay $30 each member. And if we do income verification, I think that might be another $20 or so, just estimating. Okay. All right. So going from there, it's not gift money, Brother Sayyid, for those. I'm skipping questions. I apologize. He said university and guidance have some rules around gift money and the underwriting process. This will not be gift money because it's your own money. Right, you're paying $2,000 a month. You're getting a lump sum at some given point. You're not getting gift money. This is you're part of a co-op it's not a gift to you.
But I guess the question is, right, like, if, when they go through the underwriting process and they see, like, out of nowhere, you're getting this $20,000 increase in your balance, right? Like, don't they like to see kind of like a smooth story in terms of your savings, right? When you're trying to apply for a mortgage? I don't know. I've never gone
Can
through
I answer? Can I answer this question?
Please.
Okay, so yes, we've had actually everybody who starts with for the first time always asks this question. So I was waiting for someone to ask it. No, as long we've talked to our accountants quite a few different accountants actually. As long as there's a paper trail. So if I'm putting in $2,000 a month for 12 months, and I pick up 24,000. I'm sorry, 2 times, 24 for 2 years, let's say, or whatever.
Yeah, it is 1 year. 24,000 is 1 year.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then your paper trail is there. You've given out 12 checks and you have picked up 24,000. Do you see what I'm saying? So in the 20, whatever,
Right.
5, 30 years we've been doing this, we've never been questioned. But our accountant always tells us this is your savings plan. So if you're ever asked, you say, go look at my statements. All of them say 2,000 a month, and here's my 24,000 to show that this is where I had my savings.
Got it. Okay.
The other question that people usually ask that I'll tell you guys, I'll go ahead and say it again, is some people are worried about making such a large deposit. So now our monthly one that we have 72,000, some banks will ask, where are you go on. I just lost my train of thought. You guys continue. I'll tell you what I was going to say. Oh, yeah. The deposit. When you make that large deposit, again, you'll show that paper trail again. That it's been consistently been taken out of my account for however months, and then this is where that whole deposit is.
Okay, great.
Right. Does it fly? Does it have any tax implications? Also, that was another question that I had.
Exactly. So that's where I was referring to it, though I kind of lost my thought there. Taxes, I know that, again, my accountant has said, if you deposit cash, then if you deposit cash over 9,000, whatever, or over $10,000, then it's reported to the IRS. But checks, it doesn't make a difference. You can deposit as many as you want, and it doesn't make a difference. That's because there's always a paper trail with checks, right? So cash, we're not allowed to deposit more than 10,000. We're not dealing with cash anyways.
Okay.
Right.
But we will never be questioned on.
I think the main thing here is paper trail and a story you can tell, right? The story is that you're saving, you're part of a co-op, your community members are helping each other. So inshallah, I think that story is there. And of course, there's no tax implication because there's not an income at all here. This is just your own personal savings.
Exactly. It's all money that's already been taxed.
Exactly. Okay, Iqbal Muhyiddin is asking, if someone wants to join 2 co-ops, can they join both the models at the same time? Yeah, inshallah. Like if you want to join, in the beginning of the call, for those that joined late, I was proposing 2 co-ops. One is 900, one is 2,700, I believe, based upon the survey. And inshallah, you're free to join both. Can we start by putting in a lump sum amount and then adding monthly to it? I think we already discussed this. The lump sum doesn't work, right?
You could really, if let's say I decide that I just want to give you 50,000 and keep it there, and then add to it, then you could do it. I mean, you just have to have that understanding that you've got, everybody. I mean, it doesn't have to be like everyone do not have to do that. 1 or 2 people who want to do it can do it too. They just pick up more at the end.
Yeah, that's true. You get your lump sum back and you get your monthly savings back. Also, like I was saying, if you want to invest the lump sum, potentially you could invest it and grow it for yourself. That's also a possibility. Okay, practically, what's the best way to distribute? Venmo, PayPal, Zelle, are there tax implications? Okay, so I think the check is best because of the paper trail. Also, if ACC does disperse, if we do the ACC route, everybody would have to pledge like at least $10 a month, I think, just to get administrative costs underway. Then we could have them give us a check instead of doing a wire transfer. So if they could like write a check to the person who they're dispersing to, inshallah. I really like this check system. Sister Hajibin is saying like everybody writes your checks. Give me your 10 checks or whatever. Put them in an envelope and have it just distribute to everybody from now. And it could be potentially available even if it's a year down the line. Also, there are any tax implications that's been answered. So, by the way, we're going to avoid Venmo, PayPal, Zelle, which we're going to try to do either direct bank transfer or check. So there is a paper trail. Okay. I know UIF guidance has some rules around gifting money. We did that. 680. We said okay with that. Also, we can consider members that are lower than 680 if they have a story that they want to share of why they're, why it's lower, because we're all part of the same community. The idea is not to help only those that have good credit. The idea is to help everybody, inshallah, get out of debt. And this committee, particularly for housing. So let's see if there's any other questions.
I have a comment. Are you guys Joe Bradford? Are you familiar with Joe Bradford's speeches, or has he come to your area for any lectures? Abdullah?
I'm familiar with him, as you know, because we had a joint event with him together in Chicago. But anybody else familiar with Joe Bradford? Chef Joe Bradford, he's from Houston. Saeed Ali is saying he's familiar with him.
If you've listened to his lectures or if you've attended any of them, you'll see most of the time, he always says the same thing. If the community comes and pulls together, even 300 people pull together 100 a month, that's $300,000. You could get rid of so many, mortgages that way.
Wow.
Wow. He just makes it sound like it's so easy to do, and he's like the one who always promotes this at every one of his lectures.
And he's not even Indian or Pakistani.
And he's not. Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, I'm just making a joke because we have both in my house. My wife is Indian and Pakistani. Okay. So when are we planning on starting this co-op? I'm proposing starting as early as July 5th with the first disbursement, maybe July 10th or July 14th. So for that, I can send some like membership forms with this agreement that we're saying there should be a signed agreement. I can send that. For those that are here, you are the serious people. Tell me right now how much do you want to put monthly, so I can understand how I'm going to trade these groups. Please go ahead, type it out. How much do you propose that you want to start monthly? For those that can't type, you can also say it. Nice, mashallah. People are ready, man. Allahu Akbar. Mashallah. I think, Sister Majumeen, you said if the amounts are different, we can still make it work? Like if, for example...
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
It's better to do one large one than two small ones. That way you could split up the people and then just give, if I'm doing 1,500 and you're doing, something else, then we can always split it up in the months.
Okay, got you. Okay, so I'm taking the higher number and I'm just going to just tell you real quick how much on this call. And by the way, there's several people who told me they can't join the call because of the timing. And I apologize. I usually have to change my kids, feed them, and put them to sleep 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. So it's like I got 3 little kids. So that's why this was the only time I could do it. So 1,000. Okay. I'm going to tell you how much total we have in this group. Did anybody type after this brother? After Brother Muhammad Hussein, did anybody type any numbers? I can't see the chat. Yes or no? Did anybody type after Muhammad Hussein? Okay, so I see only 8 members here. It's not bad because, like I said, there's tons. Brother Aoun wants to do an amount monthly. He's ready to go. There's so many that are ready to go. They're just not here. Assalamu alaikum, Brother Shah. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. We're almost wrapping up here, but as you see here on the screen, yes, brother. So what is the sum of this monthly? All right. 15,900 a month. So if you got a lump sum of 16,000, let's just say, would you like that 16,000 lump sum a month? You guys good with that? You want to start with that? So just write yes or no in the chat. Is this a good amount that you want to start with? Brother Shah, okay, I'm going to add you 1,000. Brother Shah, 1,000. So that's 16,900, perhaps around 17,000. Like I said, there's a few members not here. This was probably going to go up to 20,000 easy. Okay. So, Sister Majibin, as far as the next steps, right? I'm going to stop sharing the screen real quick. As far as the next steps, I'm intending on creating a contract, have everybody sign it, understand everybody's monthly payment, and tell the group how much they should be expecting monthly as a lump sum. How do you start yours?
What we usually do is whoever starts, let's say you're arranging, or well, I usually don't, but most people, when they start the committee, they'll take the first, or they'll decide who gets the first. So if you need it, you should take it. If you don't, then you could decide who gets it. This is in the different ones that we have. This is what we do. Okay. We can all, as a group, agree on certain, or who gets it or whatever. And then, so that was the first thing we do is the person who's arranging gets it. The second thing we do is then based on needs. Let's say I have a loan or I have a credit card debt that's like right now 20, percent interest. Then I can just come up to you and say, look, I have this high debt card. I want to get rid of it. And as long as everyone has open communication, it's easy to do. So if I, the other one is that where someone comes and asks you, well, I have to get rid of this really high debt. The third way is, my daughter's getting married next, I don't know, in December or something. Can I have it for December? This is the way we do the ones that I'm in control of. This is the way I do it. I base it on needs and on whoever needs it and that way. The other one that we have that's 120,000 is based on lottery. So what we did with that one is started in the beginning of 2020 and it's ending in 2022. So 2 years. We did the first January 2020, we all sat, everyone chose just random names out of a hat and everyone got their months. So some people got the beginning, some people got the end. So let's say my daughter's getting married, then what I would do is I would go to the person and say, oh, look, in December you have it. Are you okay? Can you switch with me? That's the only way to get around the lottery system is to switch with each other on a personal basis. So we, as a group, we can decide how to do it.
Awesome. Yeah. So the lottery system is there, or I'm going to, inshallah, take time to talk to everybody and see what their needs are. I'm going to create another survey. So if you guys can, those that are serious, just put your email address here. My first step is going to be, I'm going to do a survey. When do you want to start? How much you can put? And what's your need? And inshallah, immediately as soon as people fill out that survey, maybe by Monday, maybe by Tuesday, I will go ahead and start talking to people, coming up with a system. I want to start this in July. If you want.
I have another comment. Even with the one that we did, I just want to give you the full information. Even with the lottery one we did, the first, second were decided by the administrator, the two administrators that we had. So first and second, we said, okay, we're just gonna, we're gonna leave those out, and the lottery system will be after the first two.
Oh, that also makes a lot of sense. So I got Brother Amir, Sister Sadia, Sister Nancy giving their email addresses. I'll send them the survey. Not a survey, it's more like almost like an intake form, like we're about to start, inshallah, in July, just getting everybody's information in one place, and trying to get everybody to meet up together. Those that are not in the Irving area, they can, or the DFW area, we can, when we meet in person, we can have you on a Google chat, Google Meet. So that's the next step for me, is send a survey, find out how much you're willing to put down a month. If you have any needs coming up, and also then by that I'll figure out how many members we have. So we're ready to go. We're ready to go, and we're trying to start this in July, inshallah. Jazakumullah khairan, everybody. Let's get some last questions. Yes, please. Yes. Absolutely. No, I agree. We'll make that part of the survey. Are you okay with determining everybody's needs and doing that, or would you just like the lottery system? I think either way, we'll make it happen, inshallah. Jazakallah khair.
I have
Yes.
one more comment. I think someone wrote in the comments that mid-month should be better. I agree with that because everyone has their, payments due, rent, whatever, mortgage, whatever is due.
Sure.
So we start ours on the 20th. The
Okay.
20th to 25th is what I tell everybody. Expect your check to be deposited between 20 and 25th. So that way, everyone gets their bills and everything taken care of, and then you're okay with the second, the end of the month.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense, inshallah. That's what we'll do. Maybe we'll target the 15 just to be on the safe side. And then maybe pay it out by the 20th for everybody, or 25th for everybody. There'll be a little bit of a lag, I'm sure. I'm going to try to shoot for the 15th, but I'll ask that in the survey too, inshallah. Sounds good. Thank you, everybody. Let's see if there's any last questions before we can make a closing dua, inshallah. Going once. Yes.
I joined late actually. I just have a quick question. Say, for example, if somebody need a big amount, like they want to buy the house or anything, is there discussed already or not?
That's a good question. My personal feeling is that if we have strength in our numbers, if we can bring enough people to have a 300-person group, 100-person group even. Somebody wants to join. Let me admit them. Assalamu alaikum, Brother Muhammad. If we can get a lot of people, then we can start paying off people's entire homes or helping people purchase entire homes. With the home prices so high, and right now members are between 12 to 15, I think it's more than likely going to be an extended down payment or helping you paying off your mortgage or home improvement or whatever other things you need it for. Right now, we don't have enough members committed to do that, but I think we can do that in the future, inshallah. We just need numbers, and honestly, through a continuous charity, they're allowing us to use their nonprofit account to pool all the money together. They're going to take care of disbursement. I think that's going to reduce a lot of anxiety. We're going to do credit check and obviously that's $30 to do signed agreements, get a co-signer. That should reduce people's anxiety. So let's get more people on board. Tell your friends and family. Let's do it, inshallah. I'm assuming the first cycle will be small. What happens with everything? It'll snowball effect. People will want to join the bandwagon, inshallah.
Exactly. I mean, as long as they know about it, hopefully they will be more interested, So.
Inshallah. Sister Mojibin, what if somebody joins mid-cycle? Is that allowed?
No, you can't do that. It's hard. It's
Okay.
very hard you have to join from the beginning. In mid-cycle, if you bring a few members in, we can just start a new one. But it's
Yeah.
hard to join one that's already started.
Okay. I agree.
And
Yes, go ahead.
the thing, how the money is going to be managed, it's going to be whose account, is that discussed already?
Yeah, it was discussed. So there's two options. One is the 12 to 15 members that inshallah we hope to have will all write a check. I will write 12 checks from July all the way to next June for X amount of dollars that I'm proposing. I will give it to the administrator without the name on. Their name will be blank. And then the administrator takes all the checks, let's say all 12 checks, gives it to the first person, 12 checks to the second person, so on and so forth. Take care, Sister Nancy. So that's one system. Another system is a nonprofit organization called A Continuous Charity that gives already interest-free student loans. Please do look them up and donate to them. They're allowing us to pool the money there, and then they will disperse on our behalf as long as we're willing to give a monthly donation, monthly contribution, inshallah. So I think that monthly contribution is just like $5 to $10 a month. That's proposed. If we do that, we can use their platform. All the members can use the platform for sending money and dispersing money, inshallah.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Good to know. Thank you.
Jazakumullah khairan. Last, going once, going twice. All right. The brother who was recording, Brother Muhammad Aliuddin Hussein, please do send me the recording so I can send it to everybody else. Jazakumullah khairan, everybody, for being with us. We do have Brother Daniel Khan, a student from Medina, with us. Daniel, do you feel comfortable closing us out with a dua?
I think it'd be better if you go ahead and do it.
Man, this guy. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept from all of us our intentions, allow our intentions to become pure. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow our community to be free from all of our challenges, whether they are outward or inward. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow our community to come together, to help each other, to have a sense of community, to have a sense of something that we want to do for our community. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us personally to be free of all debt, to be free of all interest. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us personally for all of our family members to be protected in this life and in the hereafter. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow all of us to enter Jannat al-Firdaus al-A'la without hisab. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from the hellfire 100%. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to be honest and truthful with each other as we go and start this venture of helping each other pay for each other's debts. Barakallahu feekum. Talk to you guys soon. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Let's see here. Oh wow, yeah, I do see them. Yeah, inshallah.
Oh,
That would be great, inshallah. I'll look forward to the recording. I'll send it to people as it is, inshallah. Jazakumullah khairan.
Brother Abdullah, my only question, this is just for you.
Yes, sir.
Are you going to be setting an in-person meeting sometime next week in DFW?
Yeah, I would like to, inshallah. Once I send the survey out, I'll put that as a question. We're going to be meeting, let's say, in the Valley Ranch Masjid. What day can you come? I'm going to propose Friday afternoon. I think that might be better for people. But let's see what everybody says. Yes, I am proposing an in-person meeting. As Sister Mojibin said, the more you know people, the more you trust them.
Right. Okay, inshallah. Jazakallah khair. Thank you for putting this effort together. You know, I never checked the Telegram group, but I came across that message. So,
Alhamdulillah.
okay. All right. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you. Wa alaikum.